What you doing? I'm your Otakutainment, the AC Source. This Otakutainment reviews for Weekly Shonen Jump, issue 11 of 2025. Yes, that's right. If you watched last week's, I got that wrong a bit. I don't know why, but I am for sure looking at the cover of this week's issue, and it is definitely 11. Not that I meant to skip from 9 to 11. It was 10 last week, it's 11 now. Let's move on from that. So, I am, of course, reviewing Weekly Shonen Jump. If you are following along with the stream live, you can jump in wherever you want. We'll skip to whichever series you want to talk about. That's fine with me. If you're watching it sometime in the future, wherever that is, then be sure to join the live stream so we can talk together and chat and all that. However you like. It is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But yeah, if no one has anything right away, I'm going to do my typical thing, which is to go Manga Plus, start with the least viewed series as far as English readers are concerned. I assume it's English readers and not just all readers on Manga Plus, because I know there are some in different languages, but of course I read in English because that's pretty much the only language I am somewhat decent at. But yeah, that's it. We got a new series this week. Same with that one for the end though. But now let's just jump into Me and Roboco, Chapter 220, Gallery Shows and Roboco. This one was, I almost said artistic, but it's definitely not. I don't know. I would say, I don't know. Like, can I insult people? I don't want to insult people. But honestly, like, you deserve it if you think the stuff that Fujisawa thinks is art is art. It's like, yeah, you can say it is definitely something to think about. You can definitely say more than is actually being said with a piece of art. But to say it's actually art, I don't know. Art is up for interpretation, sure, but what this chapter is Fujisawa pushes Roboco to do a contemporary art exhibition of, it's just stupid shit, honestly. Yeah, there's nothing good to say about this. There's kind of like this theme trying to be pushed, like tech and nature, like either with or against, working together, one over the other, something like that. But, and then like Fujisawa rejects anything that is actually, Roboco actually trying to be artistic, whatever you consider artistic. But also, like, all the stuff Roboco tries to make, or try to make, it also sucked. So everything in this sucks. It's just bad. But it's honestly Fujisawa's attitude that is just, I don't know, it's like having an artistic impression of stuff and that kind of like worldview of it. But then how Roboco ends up at the end also is shitty. But at this exhibition, someone tries to buy Roboco's leftover sandwich and Fanta for $300,000, or according at least to this, I didn't do the conversions myself, about 4.5 million yen. Sounds a lot. I mean, it is. And that's just like the stupidity of it. And then it like shows some other kind of art. I think it was like, was it boba or mochi something, mochi boba, I don't know, something like that, something actually supposed to be a piece of art, which better than all other stuff, but still not my thing. And then whoever this rich snob is, it's just like, no. It's like, yeah, I mean, art, high value art like this is a scam. It's just a way for rich people to flaunt money and scam that money for other reasons. I'm not going to get into that, but it's just making fun of stuff, and that's fine with me. But this success goes to Roboco's head and decides to make 5 million yen worth of knees for whatever stupid fucking reason that is, for the next show, suppose, I guess, a big space or show or whatever, that nobody buys, and it ends up having to sell them for like 1,000 yen a piece or something like that. I think it was 10,000 to make each one, made 5 million worth of them. I end up having to try to sell for 1,000, and I'm going to assume nobody bought this, even at that price. So dope. The whole art thing is just dumb at this level. Okay? Yeah, like taking a banana wall. It's stupid. A white canvas or canvas painted completely white. Stupid. I know you can say stuff about it. Doesn't mean that stuff needs to be said. Or like in that way. Say it in a better way. I don't know. Before I go on some random rant about stuff I really don't know anything about, let's go on to another, I guess, decently funny one. Super Psychic Policeman Shoujo number 49, the previous series main character, which I think breaks the naming convention for all of these, because I'm pretty sure it's usually like Super Psychic or Policeman blah 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 blah. Anyway, whatever. It's just a super meta chapter for a crossover with Simon the Summoner. Salmon. Well, how people want to say salmon, I'll assume, but it's salmon. That's it. Sure, I took notes. I'll talk about it. Salmon builds a building next to the station, gets business from everyone, all the main cast we're used to seeing. But then it turns down a child that's wanting to protect cats, which Chojo and Pony go to try to do anyways. But it turns out Simon goes and helps, whatever. Like, I didn't want to build up this reputation of helping people for cheap. So you don't have that reputation if you just do it in secret. It's like, okay, kind of that Nazca thing. And then it ends with, I'm going to say names, but the names mean nothing to me. Nebiros destroying the building, and then Teshigawara popping up at the end. Look, they're characters for an old series, apparently a Weekly Shonen Jump series, I'm pretty sure, that I just know nothing about, and probably most people know nothing about at this point. It's a weird crossover. It's kind of like, it's neat, and it did give me like another series to look into, so that it works out. I probably will never read it, because not that I would, I just don't have the time to go looking for it. But yeah, just a random crossover. But it did poke fun at like this being a crossover after the other crossover they just had, so at least that's something too. Now let's move on to my second least favorite series. I don't really need to see that anymore. But Newly's Exorcist, Chapter 85, A Guy with No Actual Skill. I'm getting back into the thing of where I realized I'm not actually reading the titles of chapters, because I didn't read that title. And now I'm wondering if it mattered. I guess. I think it's just supposed to be how Kamine thinks of Gakuro, but I don't know. Because in this chapter, Gakuro tricks Kamine into just falling. That's it. I don't know how exactly it actually works out. Like, Gakuro made a shadow clone. Oh no. Gakuro got on Naruto with the shit, and Kamine fell for it. Tried to take Gakuro with him, and it didn't work out. We get some of Kamine's like sad backstory, and yet I get it. It is sad. It's not like Kamine's dead, so it's fine. But Kamine definitely lost a battle of wits at this point, not a way you think it would go. And then it moves on. Gakuro, I guess, is still tired, which this whole thing makes no sense. It was supposed to be this urgent get in, get out kind of deal, but now it seems like it's probably going to take a really long time to do this. Because Gakuro kind of goes and takes a nap. Well, we meet Kyokosu, who wakes Gakuro up, who was invisible, gets hit by a drink or something. And Kyokosu watches over a prison of some sort. Not exactly sure what this prison is supposed to be. Maybe it's not supposed to be known yet. I think Kyokosu just wants to cause a little bit of ruckus. I think that's it. Even though knows Gakuro's an intruder, is still like, hey, I guess we'll help. I don't know. And then it ends with like Raisei and that group finally making it to the Fujino estate. That's it. We leave off there. I guess things will start getting more intense, but it just still feels odd and out of place. This whole art, like, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Let's move on though to Witch Watch 189, Jaime's Road to Manga Creation. This one is also, I feel like, just making fun of manga's current state while also being full of lies. Urashino or Jaime made and shows a one-shot manga to... Is saying one-shot manga redundant? If I say one-shot, is it assumed it means manga? I don't know. But it shows this manga to Makua, and it's just about a ninja getting into lewd situations. You know, manga. Yeah. Apparently, Jaime can only draw females lewd in some kind of lewd situation. But usually used to just drawing males, BL kind of situations. I guess in okay situations, not lewd, is the assumption. But yeah, it's just... I don't know, the whole chapter is just making fun of lewdness, which I'm all for it, making fun of it, because one of my biggest gripes is just making stuff pervy for no reason, to where the point it makes the chapter pointless. If that's all it was, like, go watch porn and shit. If that's all you want, like, just make a good story. If the story comes to a point where there's a bit of lewdness, that's fine. It's natural. That doesn't have to be the literal only thing to the chapters. I'll get to that later. Well, I've already complained about Human 10 a lot. It fixed it this week. I'll get to that later. So, Jaime takes it to Shonen Jaguar editor. Yeah, I don't know. Random name to me, Jaguar. Who denies it for being too lewd. Says that manga nowadays cannot be as lewd, which is a lie. I don't think I've ever seen, well, aside from a certain con man that took over the country, I don't think I've seen such blatant lies in anything. Saying a manga nowadays isn't as lewd, that's all manga is nowadays. This is a whole, like, opinion video I thought about, but it was literally just tracking how manga is getting more and more pervy to, like, a ridiculous rate. Because I was watching older stuff, reading older stuff, and it's just not as much. It's still there, of course, but it's just not as much. And the stories were better. But you saying manga nowadays can't be as lewd? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's okay. I know I'm getting upset at like a fictional editor person, but really? Okay. Anyways, so Jaime gets a different one shot accepted. Still kind of same premise. The ninja is now like from a smoke village, or use smoke techniques, and it covers the lewdness with smoke, and that's it. That's the chapter. It was kind of, I don't know, it just seemed like it was supposed to be commentary. A lot of chapters are just commentary on stupid shit, and I get it. But the whole thing, I don't know, it's just so stupid. Manga nowadays can't be those lewd. What if it's just taking shots? No, because it's saying it can't be, but it literally is being. I don't know. Also, I complained about this same series like a couple weeks ago about having two elementary age girls walking down the street in swimwear getting photographed or videoed by some perv. Like, less lewd, yeah, but also weird and creepy. I don't know. That's so many rants, right? Anyway, let's move on. Astro Royale. Woo! Chapter 40, Path of Carnage. Path of Carnage. There's not really that much carnage in here. Okay, sure. some of these titles aren't making sense. I wonder if it's translation error or just whatever. Anyways, so somehow, where we left off, Shikaba and Taira killed their father, even though it was supposed to be from sickness. Like I said before, it's probably going to be like they didn't literally do it, but there's actions they did that led to it. They take blame or credit, whichever. But yeah, the fighting continues. Taira faces someone named Somidare, who is actually the second son, Sasuke's decoy. Apparently Sasuke's asteroid controls people or things, something like that. But then Hibari has to stop Taira from attacking Sasuke's controlled bystanders in the audience. That's it. That's the chapter. Well, we can see like some kind of flashback where I don't know what the father's name was, but saying Taira and Hibari are pretty much the same. Not really. Same size of a different coin kind of deal, I guess. And they could end up being good friends. Like, they don't have to be. And it also makes me just wonder, like, how is this whole family dynamic working out? Because it seems like they were never together. They all kind of hate each other. I don't know. Maybe they're on just different prefectures or different parts of Japan, and they all drifted apart. Maybe when the sickness was kicking in, everyone drifted apart at that point. But it's just so we keep meeting more of the siblings, and it doesn't seem like anybody really likes each other. Where everyone was already scheming, and that makes sense, I guess. It's like, where do they keep coming from? And why do they all keep seeming bad, but then good, and then blah, 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 so much back and forth. It's like, oh, they're probably going to be friends. Everyone's just misunderstood. Typical anime, manga kind of plot with characters. I don't know, typical, but it's just like, it's trying to piece together how this family actually works. And I feel like they're all going to end up being good for some reason. And it also just feels kind of like repetitive too, because each time they meet a new sibling, they're kind of like this too, but it's like just like the last one was, and they're also in pairs. I don't know. We'll just have to keep going. Get this tournament going. See what happens with it. Now, let's continue on with The Elusive Samurai, Chapter 190, Intermission, 1349. Now, say it like that. Anyways. Interesting chapter. I guess, time skip, you can say, intermission continues on with Takeuchi just feels full of power, almost godlike, you probably. And Tadayoshi tries to convince Takeuchi to fire Muranow, but Muranow actually ends up turning the tables, fakes an attack that makes pretty much Tadayoshi have to give up, realizes Takeuchi pretty much doesn't really care about anything really, so Tadayoshi, it says, leaves to be a monk somewhere. I know, really fast, just turn of events for Tadayoshi. Don't know what happens to anyone else involved with that, but it does move on to remember those 3 marriage containers? Well, they pretty much want to rape Tokiyuki. Let me be clear, because if you're listening to this and not watching, in a good way, no, okay, quotation marks, it's just what they say. They say they're going to do things to Tokiyuki against Tokiyuki's will, but in a good way, like tying him up, drugging him, like tapping it, but in a good way. So no, but it's okay, because Tokiyuki actually is already waiting for him, and to discuss like the future Hojo strategy. I assume that still means marriage or reproduction, or extending the family, that kind of stuff. But what a weird thing to say. We're going to do this stuff in a good way. If roles were reversed, it'll be a lot more problematic. Yeah. Let's move on to Kill Blue. Page 88, the end of the legendary Hitman. Another chapter name that makes no sense. It doesn't work out once you read the chapter and it's like, well, not really. Ogami's still winning until the medicine runs out early. Yeah, of course that happens. Kind of saw that coming. Or I knew it would run out before whatever was settled. Anyways, Oka does get some hits in, but Ogami still is with it. Tackles Oka off a roof with some kind of weird physics-defying thing. If you read the chapter and like pay attention, it makes no sense how it happens, but it happens. They somehow land off the roof perfectly fine. Ogami still has the upper hand and is about to shoot Oka. However, hesitates to kill because of thinking about all the kid friends, and which is the weird part. And I get it. Like, yeah, anyone I guess could have like a change of heart or like start developing a softer side if you suddenly got turning a kid and finally got to experience a nice childhood. But this is also an old man who's like, oh, all my friends who are very small children, they made me better. It's like, So it hesitates just in time for Norn to show up. And it's like, the fuck? Oh. So we'll see where that goes next chapter. I guess it is the end. I guess the end of the legendary Hitman is that moment of Ogami thinking back on the new kid friends. Yeah, anyways. So, on to a series kind of redeeming itself. Sidcraft, Love is a Mystery. Of course, there still has to be plenty of pervy situations in this, but at least the story is moving along a bit. This is Case 11. The great detective teams up on his long overdue homecoming. Gotta love the long names, right? Sid visits the family home where Lulu was somehow tricked into acting as a maid by the parents. Well, the parents went off to go grocery shopping. Knew Sid was coming back. Cool. Sid and Lulu had to play a game of Cypher Twister because apparently that was just a thing the house does. Sets up traps and stuff to keep wits sharp. So it's like they have to decipher a message that tells them which body part to put on what color. So they're pretty much playing Twister. Of course, Sid's getting all like hot and bothered by it. Also, for some reason, thinks Lulu is dating Elio. Don't remember at any point. And maybe it was like there's a scene or something. Maybe it was the exercise chapter where they're in the office doing that. But yeah, somehow thinks those two are dating, and that's why Sid's kind of getting bothered. Also, just that's Sid's personality. But they do it. They complete it to get the grand prize of kid photos of Sid. That's a weird way to say that. So much children stuff that makes it weird. I don't think I want to keep talking about kids being exploited as much as I keep having to. That's weird. But this was like family stuff, so this one was okay. It's just a weird thing for me to keep having to say. Anyways, the parents come back, and they actually knew who Lulu was all along. Realized the Phantom Thief knows probably there to try to get one over on Sid. But Lulu does also realize Sid's weakness is just females. But Lulu, being so socially awkward, knows what needs to get done, but doesn't know how to actually do it, or doesn't have the confidence to do it. The doing it, literally being at this point, just being around Sid will probably work, knowing how weak that weakness is. Yeah, that's it. Like, story is actually... Oh, I didn't mention the most important part. Sid's parents don't know who Zero Craft is. That's it. That was all that for the important information. Yeah, we don't know. So, moving on to Akane-banashi, story 145. Sit back and watch a annoying, not the chapter itself not annoying, but annoying character returns. Along with the return of Akane back to Japan, we also see Rien is back mainly just to talk shit about Akane. Literally wasn't even supposed to be there. Pretty sure just came to talk shit. Apparently spent the last 3 years just slumming it socially, in order to build up reputation and rapport among all the newer people, the lower ranked people. So try to seem like more of a saint or whatever. That way, when the time comes to talk shit specifically about Akane, everybody believes Rin. Anyways, Akane is outside just being sick from going directly from a plane all the way from Paris to Japan. I assume no layovers, and then a car ride. I think a fast car ride or something. So a little travel sickness, motion sickness, all that. And then there's another person who doesn't seem to care much for Rian, named Tyson, who, if I'm assuming correctly, is an apprentice of Taizen, and pretty much helps Akane out. That's it. I mean, and now Akane's about to go perform and just show everyone what's up. That was the chapter. It's just neat to see younger people coming in now. Getting to see a Taizen apprentice. I'm pretty sure that's it. It doesn't actually say it, but someone pops up and is like, oh yeah, Akane's the only person to get a Fusatsume. Is that how you say the rank? I don't remember. Recommendation from your master. And it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's Taizen, right? Sure. But then the name is Tyson and Taizen. And it's like, thanks for that. That's not going to be confusing at all. Cool. But yeah, it's still an interesting chapter. And like, ooh, we need someone to hate again. Oh yeah, it's Rian. Cool. Got that right away. Now, let's move on to Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 31. The Demon Lords take the field. They sure do take the field, and that's it. One does something. Not much. So not much really happens in this. Except for one kind of does something, like I just said. But the Demon Lords descend from the sky on a giant hand. They're mainly talking about just being there, what they're wanting to do. That's it. One of them announces something about buying Sakaki, Kurogane, and Hijiri. Don't know exactly buying in what way. Buying the corpse of, buying the opportunity to fight, buying lewd photos of them. I don't know, kid photos of fuck me. And then, in a pretty cool way, Hijiri cuts the giant hand apart, including some of the Demon Lords, but it looks like it doesn't really matter at this point. We saw some of them cut and then still talk. So, that was a cool moment. We'll see what it actually does in the next chapter because it ends. It's over. That's it. Now, on to the next. Shinobi Undercover, Chapter 20, Going Home in the Rain. I'm trying to think. This is a decent chapter. And here's the thing. And I don't know why. I'm not super thrilled that I feel this way. Suzume is actually entertaining now. Like, still kind of kept up that, like, princely or, like, lady killer type of thing. But now it's in the more pathetic kind of way. But it's also, like, at least more entertaining. So Suzume tries to train Yotaka to be more romantic. For Aoi, it's a bit over the top how it's done. It doesn't seem like it would ever work. But it also seems like no one really seems to like Suzume, or are just really protective over Yotaka. It's one or the other. I don't know. But while Aoi and Yotaka walk home, mostly umbrella-less, because Suzume stole Yotaka's. And then Aoi's is just blown apart by the wind, so they have to walk in the rain. They go to get an umbrella. They're like, is there much point in an umbrella at this point? It doesn't matter, but somehow Yotaka finds Aoi's ID, realizes Aoi's birthday is soon. For some reason, Suzume had been telling him, and brings up some plan for the birthday. I don't remember exactly what it is. It doesn't really matter because Yotaka's not going to do it. But after that, now the 4 student shinobi have a mission at some warehouse where one of the person they caught, I don't remember the name, should have took a note of it or remembered it. I think it was the one who was like slashed up the mall or whatever. I don't know. Says probably not a good idea to have your like ace in the hole, your star, Shinobi, Yotaka, going to this, and it made me think. Okay, what would be a thing that would be here that would probably be bad? It's gonna be a lot of just pervy, probably female fugitive ninjas. That's my prediction. Like something like that. It's gonna be another pervy situation. Because any other situation wouldn't bother Yotaka. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. So that we'll see if my prediction's right. Here's the thing. Lately, my predictions have been so right. Oh, even more on that later. So now on to my least favorite series, the newly least favorite, even though it finally moved on and is somewhat better. Hematin no 29 parent teacher conferences. Yeah, so it moves on a little bit. We're finally past the Kana part. Kana's not even in this. Finally, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's parent teacher conferences, and Iamori runs into Kanai's mom, who seems to be pushing them together. It's like, oh, your ties all crooked or something. Let me fix it. Oh no, my wrist. And it's like, oh, Kanai, here, come do it. And it's like, oh, and you see the mom in the background being like, like all devious or conniving seeming. So there's that. And then meets Yoshinori's mom, who seems kind of like a bad girl vibe, or kind of like very independent. And it seems like Yoshino is really trying to get attention, but it's not really working that much. At least that's what Iamori notes. But I don't remember if either of their names are said, either of the mom's names. But Yoshino's mom does end up approving of Iamori being a housekeeper and specifically making food for Yoshino because they're balanced meals, which apparently Yoshino didn't realize. I mean, they're nice looking meals, sure. Makes sense they'll also be good for you meals too, especially because they're not American meals, so they're already better for you. And then to wrap it up, Kanai comes back, and apparently Kanai's mom wants to hire Iamori as a house cleaner. Of course, we saw the wrist was hurt, so it makes sense. Why is Kanai not just doing it? No, but I know it's all just a scheme to get the two of them together. That's one of the best things about moms. Anime moms are always some of the best characters. Yeah, I don't know, it makes sense. If you're ever around like Asian families, it's always the mother figure who is really in charge. So it makes sense. Now, let's move on to a chapter I predicted. Almost just too accurately. Embers, chapter 2, Encounters. Ooh, I still somewhat enjoyed the chapter for what it is, even not being that much of a sports manga person. But Haitani is trying to return Hikage's wallet. Just random character. We'll get more later. I guess a club soccer. I'm gonna say soccer because that's what I'm used to. Member's wallet who's running away. Big misunderstanding because apparently people automatically just say Haitani's a fugitive, not fugitive, maybe fugitive. What do you call it? Miscreant. Yeah, deviant. No, what's the word? Hooligan. I'll probably say whatever. People are already looking down on Haitani, but this ends up with Captain Bugai challenging Haitani due to this misunderstanding. Bugai doesn't want Haitani on the team or club, so issues this challenge of first one to score wins the challenge, and Bugai's not going to try to score for 5 minutes. And then we get to see Haitani can't even dribble the ball. I think literally tries mostly dribbling in place, but then it's like, I can just run through Bugai. Doesn't work at all. And then Bugai gains control, 5 minutes are up, but then Haitani is actually stopping Bugai from really progressing, so Bugai just, I guess, almost a Hail Mary kind of attempt, just kicks the ball out, and then they're both sprinting for it, but Higane jumps in the way, and the challenge is canceled. Bugai's didn't win. Technically, Haitani also didn't win. They tied, so I guess Haitani's going to be welcome to the club enough. But it also is because the guy realizes, oh, they have a great defensive player who is also able to steal balls, and then they have another new player who's able to steal goals. That being Takami, who Haitani ends up running into while putting the ball up, and they have a "the fuck you" moment, and that's where the chapter ends. And I predicted this chapter so close. I'm trying to think of what I got wrong. Okay. Technically, I said Haitani will lose, and whoever the person challenged Haitani would still recognize the effort and accept. Technically, neither one of them lost or won. So, I was close, but that's it. Pretty much what I said was going to happen happened. Not looking well for the future of this if I predicted that easily in only the second chapter. Ooh, that's rough. Let's move on. Blue Box. Another sports one. Blue Box 183. Let's play basketball. I mean, they've been playing basketball, sure. Let's finish a basketball game is a better name for it. They may won the Winter Cup Prefectural Qualifying Tournament. That's all this was. And then Umeka is sad, but Chinatsu comforts. Okay. Umeka's like kind of regretting taking the time off. That's most of it. But it's all fine. And then Chinatsu goes. People are just congratulating, including the dad. And who also, the dad also says it's okay to stay with it. Modest. That's it. That's most of the chapter. I don't really have anything to add. I guess the Winter Cup's going to keep going. We'll finally get some time away from the game itself, and other things will happen. But yeah, that's it. Move on. The series that I'm still just loving. Still my favorite. Ichi the Witch. Still wish I was just doing weekly reviews of just this one. The 21st Hunt. How We Live, just completely getting rid of the old naming convention for the series, which is fine, I guess. It got older faster than I thought it would. But apparently, Monago, Chiribidona, Discars, and the Oracle. And then I guess eventually Togai's finds out or knows some of the details. I don't know. It was supposed to stick between just those four, but Togai's pops up later and is like, oh yeah, I know some stuff. But they already knew the prophecy before Ichi woke up. So when we saw Discars kind of getting upset at the end of last week, we now know Discars already knew. Now, the best part, a little bit of karma. We also learned that the mushroom magic is running amok, and Togai's magic circle. Awesome. That's what you get. Not just to that note in because it's also brought up. But yeah, then Togai meets up with Discars at a bar. They're drinking. Togai just being there to comfort, talk with Discars. It's a nice moment. But Togai is also concerned that Ichi will remind Discars of a younger sibling named Libro, or as I've seen pointed out, almost is just Lil Bro. Awesome. It really is. I thought it was just weird name to introduce a character that's literally just reading a book. Something happened. Don't know what. Maybe it has something to do with the World Hater Magic. Because it kind of looks like Lil Bro kind of faded away at some point. We'll find out, but apparently Ichi's may remind Discars of that. So Togai's a little worried. Now, we get like a much softer side of Discars, where Discars meets up with Ichi, who's I guess just beating Komugi in some kind of card game. Komugi's sad, but I don't think Komugi knows the truth of Ichi will die if acquiring the World Hater Magic. I think just sad from losing. But then Discars like Kamirs Ichi, and it's just like offering Ichi to be part of the family. Technically, the tip is like Ichi be family. Like, yeah. So we get the soft side of Discars offering Ichi to be part of a family. Does that mean Komugi's also going to be part of this family? We don't know. But it's like, it's such a nice odd. Discars, great character. one of the most interesting characters I've seen in such a long time. Why is this not Discard's the Witch? Yeah. Discard's a lot better character than Ichi. I know Ichi has moments, but I want a Discard series. Oh well. Let's move on. A bit to Kagurabachi, chapter 67. What was the name of it? Because it doesn't show it on the title page. Kyoto Bloodshed Hotel, of course. So, this chapter disappointed me so much. Because of one thing, because of what I've been saying the past couple chapters, I want to see the manager absolutely go apeshit on some people. And the hotel manager loses in such a... We don't even see it. We lose an arm, but it's just so stupid. Loses to Hirohiko, who has no sword training. I guess supposed to like mirror Chihiro, who also had no sword training, but still has that experience to build it up. But apparently, Hirohiko somehow beats the hotel manager. Supposed to be really strong. Blah blah blah. So much so that the main protagonist group was even like, we don't want to get on the bad side. It's all just disappointing. And, yeah. It's dumb. I want to see the fight. We barely even saw a fight with that. So dumb. It's supposed to be strong. Anyways, yeah, and then it also Iori wants the peaceful life back. The life Chihiro never got and never will be able to get now. And also we see a cool like peephole scene of Chihiro just slaughtering a bunch of other bribed hotel guests that were trying to come for them. And that's it. And then Chihiro runs into Hirohiko holding the head of the hotel manager. That's it. I'm still so disappointed. I was like, ooh, I was looking forward to it. I love like random characters that just pop up and whoop some ass. But no. It always has to be the main character to whoop ass. Man. Whatever. Let's move on to Sakamoto Days 200 Bubbles. Oh yeah, that would make sense. But also, I'm disappointed. This is a 200th chapter and nothing special for it. It's kind of like a chapter anyways. I thought there'd be something more special for 200 chapters, but I guess not. Oh well. So, all it really is, Sakamoto continues to fight with Hikari using that big anchor thing, and ends up weighing Sakamoto down in like a pool, where the name of the title comes in is Sakamoto uses the bubbles with the last breath to break the resistance that water would have while shooting a gun at Hikari. Yeah. So that fight's going on. And then, where the real drama of the chapter comes in, Ando reveals that sent Shin off because Shin probably would have died at the JA orphanage that Ando was running. Which is also why Ando is now has a hit to be killed. So now Ando has regrets, still plans to kill Shin, but also Shin revealed that knows the location of the bomb, could tell Sakamoto, so that could be another reason Ando might kill Shin, but it was mainly just to clear up regret. But then that's when Sakamoto drops Hikari on top of Ando. Cool. Day is saved, I guess. Yeah, that's a chapter. Like I said, not a super cool chapter to be the 200th. I don't know. But, like, it's okay, I guess. Now, let's move on to a decently cool one. Oh, no, it's a big deal chapter. One Piece, chapter 1139, Mountain Eater. Oh, Mountain Eater indeed. We finally get to meet the legend of all legends. The giant... I don't know a classic way to say this. The Mountain Eater. You know what I'm saying? Everyone knows what I'm saying. Damn, ate some mountain, alright. Woo, ate some mountain, ate a whole canyon, probably. So dumb. It's so dumb. Oh, there's probably so much weird shit that's gonna get drawn from this because honestly, I get it. It's all about Scopper Gobbin, or Mr. Ya, the Mountaineer, Roger's left arm, preacher of love, and what, Scopper's been up to this whole time. Not this whole time. We know what... it's so hard to talk about this chapter seriously. We know what Scopper's been all over. Scopper fucked a giant and had a giant kid. I don't know anatomically, physiologically how that works, but damn good for you. Yeah. It must have been like some kind of magic or something that works out. Maybe Scopper has a devil's fruit that grows big. I don't know. But damn, what a hero. I just can't wrap my head around how this works. Unless Ripley can also shrink down. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. But also, apparently Colin is 20 years old already. Still a kid. I mean, I guess when you're that big, stuff, and you live so long, how age works is different. But how did Scopper and Ripley have a kid? I need to know. I don't need to know this, but do I want to? I'm just so curious. It'll probably never be said. Yeah. Wait, is this what? No, this happened last time I talked about this subject. I gotta focus up. Then Scopper seems to challenge Luffy for Loki's key. That's where we end up. That's where we leave off. That's the big point. Luffy was looking for Loki's key this whole time. Scopper's like, hey, remember, Shanks put Loki there for a reason. Are you sure you want to do this? I'm all for some chaos, but like, whatever. And we gotta know, Scopper, pretty much the third in command, or, Roger, Riley, and then Scopper. So, it's gonna be strong. We'll see what we learn from this. There's a whole bunch of other theories. I'm not going to entertain them because I didn't come up with them, but there's other things I want to see. Me especially, not only of course see Luffy get even stronger, but I want to see a big upgrade with Usopp. Usopp's still one of my favorite characters, especially because I've seen things like Scopper's supposed to be a master of observation hockey also. I've observed a whole lot of things. You know what I mean. So it'll be great for Usopp also. Really keying in on observation hockey. But yeah, that's it. Just a lot of giant fucking. Okay, so let's move on to Star of Beethoven, the brand new series that I honestly don't have much to say about. This is, of course, the first chapter, The Stars and the Clown. I'm trying to be positive. Here's the thing. I'm trying to be positive. I just don't see much for this series. I don't know what the series is going to want to do. It seems like such a typical setup for a pianist story. It's like, I stopped playing piano. You and every other pianist that's been in manga mostly. And after losing the competition, it's always the competition stuff. What was the other thing I just read? It was a very recent one too. Someone to quit playing piano. Oh no, that was it wasn't recent. That was Time of Eve. That was on my akane-banashi podcast. Main character in that also quit piano because of competition. Or saw a robot playing piano in a competition and stopped playing piano. Also, wasn't it also like Your Line April, a main character, I think stopped playing piano or didn't do it the same way? There was something up with that. So it's a very typical setup for a pianist, protagonist. Just don't care about it. And then there's I'm not crazy about like bringing historical characters to the future. I'm kind of already tired of that. Unplugged, Instant Central, Unplugged, or whatever. We had that. I didn't like that one that much. It was kind of whatever. So I'm not crazy about this. The most interesting part of this story is just getting the tidbits about Beethoven, which may or may not be true. I have a degree in music, I'm primarily a percussionist. I play piano every now and then still. I know how to play a lot of other instruments. Apparently nerd part is still in me, because the only part I really cared about or interested in is the little tidbits of information about Beethoven, but also I didn't go to double check to make sure they're actually true or have any actual relevance. Okay, so what happens? Yaso, the main character, quit piano, lost the competition, kind of just been staying at home. It's August 32nd. No, I know that's not how the date works, but according to Yaso, that's how it works. Doesn't want to go to school, goes to the convenience store, which I assume works at also. Then Beethoven shows up, thinks it's just a crazy guy. They end up going Johnny's, which also, I think I spent more time looking up stuff about Johnny's, because Johnny's is also a restaurant in Toradora, which apparently stems from an actual chain of restaurant called Jonathan's. Never would have thought there would be anything in Japan named Jonathan's. But of course they had Don Quixote, which is like a Spanish name for like a store. So Jonathan's, I guess, also isn't that crazy. But I spent a lot of time just looking up that more than actually reading. Because it's like, oh, the connection to Toradora. That got me. Now I don't care anymore. So there's that. There's talking. Beethoven wants to go to the piano, just learning about the future. Kind of like comes to grasp with being in the future decently quickly. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. The technology's different and all that. Well, how has piano changed? And it's like, yeah, not that much. And it's like, yeah, kind of. I don't know. So they go to a piano. Just a random piano that is somewhere at school, in public, I don't know. That runs into a couple people we also apparently knew. Also mad at Yasu for quitting piano. Tries to force Yasu to play piano. And then Yasu and Beethoven end up playing Beethoven's Fifth, which also got me thinking about one of the dumbest moments of my university time is in my music history class. We had to do like oral tests where we just went and talked to a professor. It's just a conversation of exchanging from like what we know, just talking about things we learned. Part of it was getting a score that had no composer or the name of the piece on it. It was literally just like, I guess you just cut off the very top part of the music. Anyways, handed me a piece of music and me trying to act like I knew more, and it was like really just kind of being like smart ass about it. And it was just like, oh yes, there's this and this and this. I can see some German and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and like and pretentious, but also like me just BSing my way through it. And then the professor was just like, just sing the first few notes. And I was like, fuck, okay, yeah, this is Beethoven's Fifth. Sorry for being a piece of shit. Yeah. So that was my story with this piece. It's like a dumb, like funny, but also embarrassing, but also not that embarrassing because I still knew it and I proved myself right in more ways than one. But it's also I said so much more shit than I needed to, and it was obvious that's what I was doing. Anyway, so there was that. That has nothing to do with this manga. That's just me bragging, hey, I went to school for music, and now I do this. But yeah, that's it. It was a cool kind of scene to see this. It's always kind of interesting to see how music is displayed in a either written in words or a visual kind of medium, because it's usually a sound thing, auditory experience, which we can't experience with our ears when we're looking at it with our eyes. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Me being pretentious again. I don't know. But that's it. That's all that really happens. I don't know where it's going to go from here. I don't. I could make up all kinds of guesses. They'll talk more to whoever the character was that got mad and try to force also to play. There'll be talks of going back into school. That'll probably get set in motion next chapter. I don't know. I don't see this story really going anywhere. So I'm not that hyped for it. But we'll see. I'll give it a chance. I'll try to be not so negative about it, but honestly, it's not been working. I'll keep saying I'm not going to be so negative. And I am. But hey, that's the world, right? That's what I'm living in, trying to do or not do. But yeah, that is it for this week's Weekly Shonen Jump, issue 11 of 2025. Whew, there was some good, there was some bad, there was not that ugly. There's not really that much ugly in it, but there's interesting week of manga. Yeah, just interesting overall. One of those things where I don't have enough good things to say, so I'm just gonna say it was interesting. But yeah, thank you everyone who listened. Thank you to my Ko-fi members, Vic Slav and Julio Vasquez. If you also want to help support me on Ko-fi, you don't have to, but you can. I have more stuff to it. Coming to it. Ooh, I'm really getting to the rambling stage. But yeah, if you are watching this in the future, I'll remind you again, jump on my live when I stream it at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, and we can talk about whichever ones you want to talk about. I don't mind jumping around. It's not a set way I do this. I'm fine with talking, but also if you are just watching this one in the future, you want to talk more about this one specifically, leave comments, email me, theacstories@gmail.com, social media, DMs, all that kind of stuff. I'll leave links wherever you're listening to it, so you can easily find that. Discord, another great place to join and talk about stuff. But that's gonna be it for this Otakutainment reviews. I have been your Otakutainer, the AC Stories. Until next week, thank you so much, and bye.